Well, what a wonderful evening to have all of you here with us. On behalf of Adsync Dubai, gives us a huge honor to welcome each and every one of you here at our utmost prestigious Real Estate and Business Excellence Awards 2K24. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Simran Ahuja, and we all love the global world. So let's know a little more about the trends in our very own world of real estate. Globalization truly is the need of the hour, irrespective of whether we want to feel or at the same time go global or no, we already are global citizens of the world. So without any further ado, I'm truly delighted, honored, and overwhelmed to meet all our distinguished panelists and a very dynamic moderator here. Ladies and gentlemen, towards the beginning, I know the lights are dim, but I can still see your bright smiles, so make sure you sit tall and truly enjoy this wondrous panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together, as it gives me a great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you for the globalization and the opening of the Indian real estate market. Ladies and gentlemen, meanwhile, please join me as we like to welcome the moderator of this session as well as our panelists here this evening. Let's put our hands together as we like to welcome Miss Nidhi Srivastava. Please, may we all put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, towards the beautiful lady in the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nidhi Srivastava, the founder, Gravity Properties and co-founder of Vibe Services. Nidhi is very excited, and Nidhi, you always, absolutely, it's a pleasure to meet you, but you always are rocking as usual. So thank you, and very, very excited to know about the recent whereabouts in our very own world of real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we like to welcome our Chief Operating Officer, TREDI MCHI, Mr. Keval Valambia, please. You're on stage. Wow, क्या बात है sir, सीटियां बज रही है आपके लिए. क्या बात है, ladies and gentlemen. क्या बात है, and I truly appreciate it. So, अब सीटी बजी गई है. So let me tell you officially, you're allowed to whistle. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vijay Kandhari, the Managing Director of B. Kandhari Group. He's going to join us in the next super few minutes from now. But in case he's just arrived, please join us here. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please welcome the Managing Director, M Realty, Dr. Advocate Harshul Savla here, please. Harshul, at the Taj President, we had great insights from you, and I carried on for investment in the real estate world, all the great insights and tips you shared with us. So looking forward to hearing from you, ladies and gentlemen. He's Advocate Harshul Savla. It always makes sense to have advocates as your great friends. And of course, we belong to the world of real estate. We know the reasons. May we please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman for the Global St. Angelo's Group of Companies, Mr. Angelo Rajesh Athade. May we please welcome him? Now, he's one of the first ones, sorry. No, I saw him, I met him. So he's the first one I met at 6 a.m. But I'm sure he's networking. He does business on the tip of his fingers, guys. I really enjoy that. Ladies and gentlemen, so Rajesh Angelo, wherever you are, if you could, someone could quickly message him. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please welcome Dr. Bhavishya Gupta, the founder and managing director of Sensation Group. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put hands together. Good evening, sir. Wonderful having you here with us. For architect Reza Kabul, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our renowned architect, Reza Kabul, sir, from Reza Kabul Architects Private Limited. Sure. Thank you. He'll join us too in the next few minutes. Mr. Govind Rai, to please take your seat. You're on stage. The Managing Director, Insomniacs. Wow, I like the name. Mr. Govind Rai, and ladies and gentlemen, let's put hands together for the Chairman and Managing Director and the CMO, VV Mentions India Private Limited, Mr. Vijay Mirani. Hi, Vijay. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're all our distinguished panelists here. And Ms. Nidhi is going to moderate the session. Nidhi? Yeah, you want to say something?
Yes.
Sure. Before we go ahead, yeah, first you, please.
Sorry.
Not at all.
Well, I asked Simran to give me this mic for a second, and that is because I want to tell you one thing here, is that one dignitary sitting here is not only an advocate or a doctor, he is a Guinness Book of World Record holder. He is Dr. Advocate Harshul Savla with 4 PhDs, Harshul, if I am not wrong, 2 PhDs, I'm sorry, 2 PhDs, and how many degrees do you carry? 6 degrees, and he is a Guinness Book of World Record holder, so I think we have to give him a special round of applause, because real estate needs this kind of people with us who are not only educated, he is also, yes, and he is the Amazon best author, if I'm not wrong, right, Harshul? So we have got a personality who has not only proved himself in the sector of real estate, but he is also spreading a lot of awareness about our sector into the common man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's so kind. That's really kind of you. So Ms. Nidhi has become more alert now, and she's like, oh, I'm all the more careful now to go ahead. That's absolutely wonderful. And thank you, Advocate Harshul. I do remember, of course, his accolades, but not so many of them. Is it that it changes every 6 months? Wow. By leaps and bounds. That's amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead for this panel discussion, there's a humble request. As we all know, our prestigious awards shall take place right after this. The very brilliant, ladies and gentlemen, where Adsync Dubai presents the Real Estate and Business Excellence Awards 2K24, media partnered by CNN News 18. So it's a humble request to all of you. Since it's a live show, I don't want to announce it in front of our beautiful lady who's going to join us here from the Bollywood world, who's going to present the awards. But I would like to say it right now in the beginning. Please make sure that you warm your palms and give a good round of applause for each and everyone present here. Because as we all know, it's going to be, as we all know, yes, it's going to be telecasted, our beautiful award ceremony. So जब तालियां नहीं बजती है ना तो मजा नहीं आता. All right, over to you, Nidhi. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Simran.
Vijay. Rajesh Angelo, you were the first one who arrived here at 6 p.m. But you're not fired. Please join us on stage. Your hot seat, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Angelo Rajesh. Thank you very much. And we shall have Vijay Kandhari and one more gentleman who will join us very soon. Sure. Our architects, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simran. You're always so good. I think you always start the forum with such a bright sunshine. Thank you so much, as usual. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adsync, and to all the honorable panelists. I think it's an honor to be here. Hopefully, we'll have a very enlightened discussion today. And I think the audiences are very eager to hear from you what is your version and the globalization, which is like the current topic for today, and the impact on the real estate, Indian real estate. So I think since the globalization word is so important, and all of us here in the specific manner, the entrepreneurs do have something or the other, version of globalization. Some form or the other, we all are into some kind of a globalization, whether it is in businesses, whether it is in terms of any kind of a funding, whether it is customer base. So I am very, very eager to hear from all of you, if you can just decode the word globalization and what it stands for you. Starting from you, Vijay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's actually funny, when this question came up, and it's very funny the way I would like to answer it. All of us are huge fans of cricket, and we love Sachin Tendulkar, don't we? And whenever Sachin went out to play, he played brilliantly, and especially when he played against Australia, I would wonder, they're sledging him so much, but he never sledges back. And in a way, as a globalized, India and somebody coming from a globalized this, I would wonder why is he not replying back? And then came Virat Kohli. And, the games turned around. Now, when I see Dr. Jay Shankar answering aggressively to the foreign media, about foreign policies and Indian policies, whatever they might be, and whether it's seeing Mr. Modi's billboards on Times Square for US presidential election. The other day, I was designing for a developer a brochure in Khardanda. And I got on a Zoom call, and that guy was from Paris. The graphic designer was from Paris, He was actually a Parisian. He was not even an Indian, he was a Parisian. So, imagine the far impact, from Prada to Khardanda, right? We are globalizing the globalized right now. And I somehow believe that now it's no more about economy or GDP or businesses. It's more geopolitical, it's more social, it's more cultural. And I think somewhere down the line, all of us are globalized, Now there's not even a single soul left in our country, and furthermore, who's not globalized. So I think it's something which is far reaching impact than just businesses. That's my take on it, yeah.
Harshal, what's your version?
So, if you ask really from my perspective, it is really about globalization. So it is a mix of globalization and localization. So you really have to think global, but act local. The issue is that we go so global that we forget the ground realities and the local context. And each micro market, each locality, each country is operating on its own timeline. I mean, you can't just cut, copy, paste, or replicate what's happening. Yeah, of course, you get inspired, but you have to act local to really be successful in the context.
Sorry, Nisha, may I? Without your... Thank you. So guys, let me tell you one thing very clearly, Nisha, is that so many people whom I know here, they're all more learned than me. So for them, it is glasnost perestroika. This is what I heard from Mr. Mikhail Gorbachev way back in 1990s, early 1990s, when Soviet Union was a country. For a non-intellect person like me, globalization is more like internet. It is everywhere, it is invisible, but it is driving all of us sitting here. And more than all of us, it's driving the entire economies or global economies as such. Also, it is like that neighborhood chacha of us. किसी ना किसी को तो होगा जो मैं अभी आपको example दे रहा हूँ. You will try to kind of match make that with someone you know. It's like that neighborhood uncle who is very tech savvy, okay, who invests everywhere and anywhere, and it's the life of the party. That's what globalization is for me, as far as I understand. If I decode globalization into real estate, it is driving us crazy. Okay, I think only Mumbai commercial market alone has got more than $2 billion of investment in 2023, which is 15% more than the year before. That says a lot, right? So globalization is not only क्योंकि जब हम बात करते हैं globalization की, we think about money coming from foreign countries to India. That's not. Okay? It's also about transferring technologies, transferring money, of course, transferring skilled force. Who thought about AI-driven contracting? Anybody from contracting department here would connect with me that पहले के ज़माने में हमें contracts बनाने में 15 दिन लगते थे. Now you have got contracting driven by AI. You just name it, and within 3 seconds you will have it. So before you finish saying glasnost perestroika, the contract will come out. That's what globalization is for me. Thank you.
Can I have the technical team, please? The mics are, we need to have the operating, can somebody open the mics, please? Yeah. Dr. Bhavisha, your version, I'm sure going to be an interesting one.
Good evening, everyone. Globalization, according to me, is going to be in India in its best form in all spheres. The socio-economic changes which are happening, especially at a time where the median age of India is just 28. And we are going to be the youngest nation for the next 5 decades. It's going to be a great magical journey for India in all spheres, and globalization in its best form is bound to happen. It's inevitable. And India will, again, जो बोलते हैं हम भगवान की दया से सोने की चिड़िया बहुत जल्दी बनने वाली है.
Soni ki chidiya, I think that's absolutely the right word. Rajesh, what's your version?
So globalization is a very interesting word. It is absolutely convergence of manpower, money, materials, and opportunities. Absolutely, it's the inflow and outflow of opportunities in a particular place like India. The exchange of opportunities between a developing country and developed country is nothing but globalization. So you get the best think tanks, you get the best technology, you get the cheapest possible money, the most economical manpower, and the most economical materials, where the invested money when it comes in is cheap, but as the process goes on, that money earns a lot of money. So that other money also starts driving into India as a country. And a place where there is plenty of customers. So population once upon a time in India was considered as something as not the right thing to happen, or we were overpopulated. But today, the same population has become a very large market. So India as a country is going to be developed by the rest of the world put together, because the best opportunities for their investments is going to happen in India. Today the inflow is not restricted only to money. It has to come with money, design, intelligence, technology, all of these aspects together. So India today is really witnessing the word globalization in real sense and in real terms. So most of the parts of the cities, the developed cities of the country, if you go to travel in those places, you feel you are already abroad. So globalization is bringing the international locally, and we are absolutely global. We are global at the same time we are local. So that is a trend for globalization in India in the real estate sector, as we witness it happening in front of our eyes.
I think in the true sense, I think India is becoming global. Just in one word, Rajesh, I would ask you, is it good for an Indian economy? Do you think in certain way?
It is mandatory for the Indian economy. So the world moves in 3 categories: the developed world, the developing world, and the underdeveloped world. And it is like a cycle. The developing countries are going to be developed. The very developed countries are becoming stagnant because there is no material movement, money movement and all that, because whatever you need is already developed. And the underdeveloped countries are becoming developing countries. So quality of life needs to improve for all, and it's cyclical in nature.
True. Well, absolutely agree with you on that.
Thank you so
Govind,
much.
what's your version on this?
So for me, I guess we live in a binary world, right, which is 0 and 1. You add digitization to it, not technology, digitization to it, and that's where it moves to infinity. And for me, that is what globalization is, where the infinite opportunities, possibilities, everything that he spoke about, connections, all of it become possible suddenly. And that's how I will summarize it.
Superb. I think that's very rightly put in. Harshul, I have a question with you. Now when we have kind of decoded what is globalization, now comparing it or taking it now back to Indian real estate market, do you think that globalization and Indian real estate market, we've kind of started entering the real estate market of India is now witnessing a globalization? And if yes, what is that sector, whether it is commercial, retail, warehousing, where do you think is the majority impact coming in?
So I think clearly in terms of asset classes, almost all asset classes, whether it's residential, whether it's office space, whether it's REITs, whether it's warehousing, all are getting touched by globalization. And there are 2 keywords because of which, first and foremost is funds. Finance is the lifeline of any project. You see a lot of financial flow coming into the Indian economy. Average cost of capital globally is 3 to 5%. Your developers are borrowing at 3x, and they're delivering returns also. So clearly, and India is the most stable economy presently. Second, most importantly, where I see globalization is architecture. So we have a surge of FSI. We are hovering around 5 FSI now, and which is why you see a lot of skyscrapers coming in. And I won't be surprised in the next decade if India becomes the skyscraper capital of Asia. Presently, it's Beijing, it's China, which is really ruling it out. But the way we are seeing inclusive growth in real estate, and it's the first time since independence, the growth of real estate is not confined to tier 1 cities alone. You are seeing growth in tier 2, 3. You are seeing emerging micro markets. There's religious tourism, spiritual tourism, which is also seeing real estate growth. So all of this combined, I really see a huge role where global stakeholders will play into real estate. It's not only the investors, but also professionals like consultants, architects, RCC, landscape, everyone. I mean, have a huge role to play here.
Very well spoken. Kevalji, what's your version on it?
Well, Harshul actually was spot on, to be honest. मेरे लिए कुछ छोड़ा ही नहीं. So, I will just...
Never let you do that. That's his record.
Yeah, Guinness Book of World Record
Guinness
holder, right?
World Book
I
of
am
Record.
no match to him. The thing is, I'll just give you two live examples.
Sure.
I was told not to name any organization or any particular developer, so I'll confine the name. But there's a huge Chinese real estate developer who has got a presence here in India right now. And it's not only China's or Asia's biggest real estate developer. In terms of markets, in terms of revenues, it's world's largest real estate developer. He started a project in Thane. Okay, they started a project in Chennai. They started a project in Delhi, right? Because of geopolitical situations, there were certain complications, especially during the Doklam issue. So they have now started limiting themselves in terms of the presence in Indian real estate scenario. But that particular example of world's biggest real estate developers having a presence in a district called Thane says a lot about globalization and its impact on real estate, right? However, your question was which segment is mostly
Which segment
benefiting?
is impacted the most?
I have because I sit on a lot of data and research, I think that the commercial and the retail office market is the biggest beneficiary. I'll give you some numbers for that. Last year, 2023, the total FDI, the foreign direct investment into alone into the commercial category was US $5.5 billion in India.
Wow, that's a
Right?
number. That's a number.
Oh, and I'm talking about the entire country
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Out of that, the staggering 2.3 billion came to Mumbai.
Yeah.
Right? So when I say Mumbai, it is, yes, a financial powerhouse for the country, and 40% of the overall real estate sales which happen in the country happens in Mumbai, or MMR as such, if I am broadly defining it. So I would say that, yes, commercial and the retail office market, because of a lot of MNCs coming to India. I was talking to a large legal MNC who is a US-based MNC, and they work into legal contracts. And they told me, which was baffling me to be honest, that 85% of their workforce was present in India. Right? What they do, they sit here, they draft a will for someone in US. They sit here, they draft a contract for someone in US. So can you imagine a company serving US customers, a company which is US based, has 85% of workforce in India. When I say workforce, Vijay Bhai is here. Vijay Bhai, just come on stage right now. You are late, but we will welcome you wholeheartedly. Guys, please, applause for Vijay Kandari. Vijay Bhai, welcome. विजय भाई मैं आपके दो क्वेश्चन खा जाऊंगा क्योंकि आपने मुझे थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब कर दिया. You sit here. So a company based in US serving US customers has got 85% of workforce from India. That says a lot about Indian real estate, because when they say that they've got 85% of workforce in India, they will need a real estate space, they will need a desk, they will need a chair to sit onto, right? So I would say that yes, commercial retail and offices are the biggest beneficiary of FDIs right now, but the luxury segment of residential is not far behind. I have done a little research on behalf of CREDA MCHI, and I was baffled to know that 30% of the inquiries for the luxury real estate. Now, when I say luxury residential real estate, I'm talking about all the residential units which are 10 crores and above. So that
Absolutely,
people get a outline here, that all the houses which are 10 crore and above, 30% of the inquiries for them comes from out of India.
Absolutely.
Okay, somebody sitting in Sicily blocked 3 flats today, I was told, and I have the proof for that. somebody sitting in Sicily in Italy, okay, not even an Indian guy. I'm not talking about NRIs here. I'm not talking about non-resident Indian. I'm saying anybody who is sitting anywhere is buying luxury real estate here. There must be a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I would take it from here. I think you're absolutely right that, there are segments which are getting, I would say, in a positive manner affected on this. Vijay Bhai, first of all, welcome here. And just to take you inside, can we please share the mic? Just let me make you aware about our discussion. हम किस पे discussion कर रहे थे? So I think we were discussing more on the globalization, जो आज किस कुछ 4-5 और I would rather say 10-15 years पहले Indian economy इतनी open नहीं हुई थी, and now globalization is coming. What do you think is your version of globalization first? What is your version of globalization first?
See, globalization is not a new thing. It has been happening since quite a few years.
Right.
It's exceeding now a lot, and I'm sure it will have a very positive impact. And the new doors are opening to all global investors. We have done so many pre-lease transactions today. So many companies, funds are buying properties with pre-leased assets. So globalization is a very positive thing happening. And I see real estate has a very good future, believe me. After COVID, people have understood that it's the best and safest investment in long term. It may not be giving them more fast results, but the money is in the safest place. So globalization all over is very positive for us. And even now the way UK is moving, people are wanting to come back to Dubai or to India. So I see east or west, India is the best, and everywhere people will eye to invest in India. So I'm very positive about the way things are moving.
Superb. On that positive note, Govind, what's your comment on technology and innovations? I think you've been an integral part, and we've kind of always observed your work around a lot of content, influencing, a lot of virtual reality. What do you think? How can India, as a real estate market, leverage technology and innovation to make the most use of globalization, which is happening around? A quick one from you.
Okay, so the first fundamental, I believe India has the largest opportunity from the point of view जो आज 20 साल से service sectors ने already enjoy किया है, which is the talent that we have here,
Right.
and at the cost that we have here.
Right.
So there's a lot of contribution that we're definitely going to be making, and there are lot many technologies in real estate which is going to come, which is going to be built for India first, and then they will have a larger implementation globally, right? So that is from the service point of view that we are looking at it. The second, from the real estate, from the fertility point of view, one thing is clear that you already talked about virtual reality and what is happening with metaverse. I'm not going to talk too much about it because already a lot of it already has been spoken.
Right.
I'm going to put a point to a place where one of the important part that we all have to keep in mind is this world that we are living in now, we all know that, we are continuously being tracked, right? The personalization that is happening around something that is now coming is called a layer around CDP, which is customer data platforms, which as real estate developers, brokers, everybody can use it.
Correct.
But at the same time, the larger companies, with the help of AI, ML, the way they are personalizing the narrative and actually putting you into a box to make sure that targeting about the communication becomes much more sharper, that's the larger opportunity opening up. So far, we are consuming internet only on the mobile, right? So most of our promotion is happening mobile with the content, whatever that we are producing or whatever that we are putting out. But the future, one of the other things that is going to make a comeback in the coming 4-5 years is going to be our TV. The connected TV phenomena right now is not giving much results, but watch out for what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years, something that we are going to be bullish about as well. US, Rand Reynolds had already launched a platform called Mountain, and that's something which is going to change the face of programmatic, lookout. From the point of view, because the consumption patterns so far on your searches have been of a certain level, but then on the content that you're consuming at your home, lady looking at an entrepreneurial journey, my mom looking at something which is of a different sort altogether, which is an Ekta, Kapoor narrative. The personalization around that is just going to get sharper and sharper. So we are not going to be, as advertisers, we're not going to be chasing it just on your mobile. Even when you open the the TV, which is still one of the larger consumption that was so far untapped. So yeah, that's how the technology is going to move, where the first layer, fundamental CDP, which I said, which personalizes each and everything around you, it knows more about you than you know about yourself, right? Sometimes you don't expect or accept certain things about you, But then the data, the way it's going to be personalized and segregated, it's going to be the next wave. And that's where we have to put all our attention to. And I believe that, it's just a start of what we have experienced in digital space right now with the help of technology. This is just going to get better in terms of the personalization and in terms of the reach outs. And rest, in terms of the technology, when you ask, be it construction tech or like now today BIM, all those things already are there in the motion, even in the construction technology in terms of how the prefabs and everything is coming in. I believe we are sitting at a cusp where things are just going to get amplified to a different level.
Yeah.
It's our choice whether we want to just look at it and say, yeah, aayega aur chala jayega, but that's not what's going to happen in coming 4-5 years. So we've
Right.
got to accept it and move with it.
I'll come back to you on that, on the cost fundamental. But Rajesh, what's your version on this? On the technology part, the technology and innovation, how can we, bring in a lot of globalization? A quick one from
So
you.
in the urban cities, if you go to see, people are buying technology and the real estate is free. So if you go to see complexes which are being built, right from your access points to the way your car get parked, to the way you enter your apartment, to the way you experience safety and security, to the way community building is happening, you are actually buying technology and the real estate comes along with that free of cost. So a lot of people today are choosing real estate on the basis of the technological applications that are available in that particular community. Now mixed use is getting momentum. Reducing your footprint, carbon footprint is on the rise. People are being measured under a microscope on how are you contributing to the environment by the process of you being a real estate developer trying to give out products in the form of an office or a lifestyle or a mall or a residence. So everybody is under a microscopic watch. You need to be sustainable, you need to be environmentally alive in your mind while making your plans, and you really need to game change not only the life of your customer and your consumer but also the environment around you. So technology can map all of these aspects. Secondly, what is happening is technology helps you to be precision with your predictability of what is required in the market.
Correct.
So there was an era in real estate where the developer built what he liked. But today the predictability is so strong and powerful thanks to technology, which can map the likes and dislikes of a person, of a community, of a region, of a city, of a town or an area, that you can exactly build what is predictably required in the market. So things are changing and technology is one common language that the world speaks. A red button and a green button on a mobile phone remains the same across the world, whether you're a Spanish country, a Chinese country, or a Hindi-speaking country, it doesn't matter. So technology is definitely a great leveler, equalizer, and changing the way we are living as human beings.
Absolutely. And a quick one from your side, Vijay, on this, as to how the technology is changing the globalization.
Practically putting to perspective, I think all of us, I think we'll have to show up that mic. We come from that era, like pre-RERA, right? Whether it's developers, consultants. And there was a time that you would speak to a developer or meet a developer. And, he's coming up with, say, a 24-story tower or 25-story tower. And the work hasn't even started yet. And you would ask him, possession ka kya hai, kab lagta hai? So you would get random answers and vague answers too. That would be starting from 3 years, ending at 6 years with non-committal, and you would finally find, I have some friends who've bought houses when their children were 4 years, and now they are 18, 19 years, and the building is yet to get possession of it. Definitely financial management is to add to it, but also technology. Now I am meeting developers in Kurla with say 1,000 square feet of office, right? And I wouldn't definitely we won't name the developer, but a 24-story building, आप कब तक possession दे सकते हो? 14 महीने में, 12 महीने में, 18 महीने में. You see what has happened is the democratization of technology. Right? Yeah. So, coming back to democratization of technology, when you see my one shuttering, everyone's talking about my one shuttering now. Everyone knows that technology 10 years, 15 years back, Lodha, Oberoi, all of these people had this. But right now, you find even, the BCAT, CCAT, D developers are also having an access to that technology because of the globalized world, and they are making fantastic use of it. And, these technologies are evolving, helping real estate, helping the buyers, helping the developers, and it's no more like, you know, a fire Awas Yojana of the government where the project is going on and the developer's project is also going on. There is a certainty to it. You know that when this gentleman says that he's going to cast 5 slabs in a month, he will do it, right? And that's because he has a backing of technology. So I think, you know, it's changing the game as far as I see it, you know, definitely.
Sorry, can the technical team please help us with the mic? There's just one mic left now, finally. I was not to bring this question very quickly in the interest of the time, but it is very interesting. Vijay bhai and Vijay here, I think there are 2 generations of entrepreneurship. I'm very curious to know this. Sorry, I'll have to stand up because the panel is really, you know, wide. Because ये 2 generations हैं, मतलब मैं really 2 generation. आपने एक बहुत नहीं मतलब he's a veteran, yeah. नहीं, मैं दोनों को न्यू बता रही हूँ. Don't point me here. Okay, Vijay bhai, I definitely want to ask you. आपने एक दौर देखा है where you know that was the time when हम लोग इतने vernacularly ये selling of properties करते थे, and I don't think so तब influencer marketing थी, या I would say you know, Govind will agree with me on that. I don't think so. हम Meta की कोई leads Facebook या ये सब करते थे. आपको क्या लगता है? Selling at that time was easy or selling at this time is easy? Sorry, but this is a in-between question, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
नहीं, please,
नहीं, yes. मैं तो ऐसा कहूँगा कि सी अभी आपने मेरे को पूछा तो मैं आया इस लाइन में इन द ईयर 1990, मेरी एज थी 18 और अब मैं हूँ 52 का. तो 1972 बॉर्न हूँ मैं, और आई ब्रीथ प्रॉपर्टी, मतलब मैंने रियल एस्टेट छोड़ के मेरे लाइफ में कुछ किया नहीं, और मैं नींदों में भी डील्स करता हूँ, इतना आपको बता सकता हूँ. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो अभी तरीका है सोशल मीडिया, फेसबुक, इंस्टा, इट्स रियली हेल्पिंग अ लॉट. उस वक्त तो हम लोग एक पेपर में ऐड देते थे, उसमें पीओ बॉक्स आता था, पीओ बॉक्स करो और रिप्लाई करो. तो नया नया मोबाइल आया था तो मैंने मोबाइल नंबर डाला था, जब भी 16 रुपया मिनट का कॉल होता था. तो मेरे को एक एक्टर ने कॉल किया था कि यार ये लोग पीओ बॉक्स डालते हैं और तूने सीधा मोबाइल नंबर डाल दिया है. तो मैं बोला वो तो करना पड़ेगा. तो आई फील जैसे दिन चेंज होते जाते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज होती है, एंड इट इज़ वेरी गुड. हम सबको उसका फ़ायदा उठाना चाहिए. आज के दौर में, आज के टाइम से चलना चाहिए. तो माल बेचना अभी भी ज़्यादा ऑफकोर्स ज़्यादा इजी है, बट मेन चीज़ है कि सच्चाई का मार्केट कभी भी चेंज नहीं होता. अगर इंसान ट्रुथफुल है, लेट इट बी अ रियल्टर, अ ब्रोकर और अ बिल्डर, अगर वो अपनी कमिटमेंट आंसर करता है, अपनी डील कंप्लीट करता है, तो हर मार्केट में अपनी ब्रांड बना सकता है. तो आई फील कि वन शुड बी अवेलेबल, अप्रोचेबल, आंसरेबल. और अगर हम मीडिया में, सोशल मीडिया में CD वॉक थ्रूज में पिक्चर्स दिखाएं जो हम डिलीवर ना करें, तो आई थिंक इट विल बी अ रॉन्ग थिंग. We should deliver more than what we announce in the market. That is most important, because मैं ज़्यादातर देखता हूँ कि बहुत बिल्डर्स शो फ्लैट पे करोड़ों खर्चा करते हैं और फिर फाइनली जब फ्लैट हाथ में आता है तो वो जो सोफ़ा देखा था, वो जो डाइनिंग टेबल देखा था, वो दिख नहीं रहा है और एमिनिटीज़ कम होती हैं. तो वो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. आई फील के द वे थिंग्स आर मूविंग, वी ऑल शुड कैपिटलाइज इट. आज जो दौर हमको मिला है सेलिंग करने का इज़ वेरी गुड, बट वी शुड नॉट कंसील फैक्ट्स. फॉर मी कंसीलिंग फैक्ट्स इज स्पीकिंग लाइज. सो यू शुड बी ट्रूथफुल एंड यूज द टेक्नोलॉजी वेल.
I think very well said and very genuine. I'll come back to the influencer marketing, Govind, on your this thing. But I'm very curious to know from you, sir. You are dealing with 2 markets at this moment. You're dealing with an international market, you're dealing with a global market, and you're also dealing with an Indian market. And it makes me wisely surprised that you're catering to 2 absolutely different demands at this moment. How do you see these synergies between the 2 demands? So what I mean to say is that that's a particular customer base where you kind of, you know, you're in US and you kind of also doing your architecturing designs and, you know, giving the expertise there. And then suddenly you come to India and there's all together a different set of things. My first question to you is, sir, that number 1, how do you do it? And the second question to you is, do you any time foresee that there is a possibility of these 2 worlds separately getting mixed up into one kind of a product where it becomes a globalization? that, okay, this is what the product stands for?
Good evening. Thank you. No, it's okay. It's a good question, but see, that's two different markets, and the needs are different. Their living lifestyle is different. So they're both different things. So you have to cater to both of them. You can't be catering. It's like you're catering to a luxury market and you're catering to mid-segment market. You have to give what is required, what the demand is. So we are working not only in the US, we are working in India, we are working in Thailand now, and Dubai and everywhere. So we have to cater to the market that we are. So like they say, girak dekh ke pudi banna chahiye. So that's the story, you know. So you have to cater, you have to first of all understand the social living conditions. You have to get into the end user's place, who the end user is, understand their mentality, understand their style of living, and then you can cater to them. And I don't think it's a problem. We are architects, we can create anything, as I always say, so we can cater to any market. Looking at about, I was just listening to the technology aspect of it. It's very interesting, actually. I've been in practice for 36 years. And at that time when we started, we were doing only 2-storied, 3-storied, and we graduated to 7. And 14 was the tallest building. Beyond that, there was nothing. But because technology came in, we could do towers. And we started doing towers. We did the first tower in 2003 because we got in the lifts, we got in the high-speed elevators, we got in bus bar systems to go, in the apartments, in the towers. So all these things, technology does help. Previously, we were doing smaller buildings. We used to just do a building and that was it. But today, we are doing mixed-use buildings. We are doing larger buildings. We are doing, in one complex itself, we are doing a retail, we are doing a commercial, we are doing a hospitality, residential, everything is mixed. And because of technology, because of the, softwares that we have, we can design such kind of buildings. So technology is a must, and we have to accept technology, but use it in the right way. That's the main key, I think.
But hats off to you, sir.
Thank
You are
you.
kind of mixing the two demand together. Hats off on that front. My next question is on the asset class. I mean, real estate as an asset class. And Dr. Bhavishya, this question is for you. I would go back to Rajesh and I'll come back to Harshul on this question. So my question is, real estate as an asset class. Can we look at real estate now on an asset class, and how? And has that, I would say, that view started coming in already in India, or how is it like? A quick one from your side again.
Yeah. So,
Please sit down. I'll sit down now.
all right.
That's better.
All right. So there's almost 750 million square feet of office space in IT, ITES, and banking, finance services, insurance, coming in cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, and Mumbai, and a few more tier 2 cities. With this, we would be, if you take the basic calculation of 100 square feet per person, so that's 75 lakh people will be working in these cities. So if you talk about these 75 lakh people, there's no local supply from those respective cities. It's all migrants. In these migrants, again, 80% are unmarried, because the marriage age in India has moved on from 20 to 25, 30, 35 now. These migrants are going to give birth to the best and most resilient asset class called service living. Service living for the working women, for the working men who are migrating, and unfortunately in India, unmarried people are not given place in a good society, but they're living, that's why, in bad conditions. And then the next asset class, which is going to be again very resilient, because the criteria of education when I had gone to my university was the university. Today, students, the criteria is first stay. So student housing, luxury student housing is the next asset class. And the multi-billion-dollar business, which I would say pan-India, which is highly required in case India needs to grow its industrialization scope, is industrial housing, blue-collar housing. So these three housings are the latest emerging asset classes where BlackRock, Blackstone are hunting left, right, center. The recent deals are the IQ student accommodation in London and the American campus communities in the US, which was sold for $13 billion, record price, more than any asset class of office space. Office space there's too much of oversupply coming in, especially from fantastic infrastructure cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai, where outer ring roads and all that are coming. So companies are moving there. So commercial real estate, the capital value appreciation may not be that high as service living, or because that's lifestyle oriented. And I would say labor housing, industrial housing, and we are very happy, I'm very proud that the first labor housing project of 18,720 women was opened in Sri Perumbudur in 700 crore project by the government of Tamil Nadu. And Foxconn leased it completely. So that's what is coming into India. And I think developers should start looking at this rental asset class, and investors also, in case they are looking at low vacancy levels and higher capital value appreciation.
Super. Rajesh, what's your version?
So real estate as an asset class from different perspectives means differently. For example, if a buyer is wanting to buy a real estate, that is, the real estate is the only companion in life which works 24 hours and keeps earning for you, because in an overpopulated country like India, the appreciation on asset is the fastest and the highest in the world. China is already overpopulated even for the real
That's
estate,
true.
so that's a different story.
That's true.
As far as India is concerned, the asset class of real estate earns the maximum for the person who owns that real estate. Historically, we have seen that happen. In the last 20 years, 20 years back, the real estate which was costing 1,200 rupees a square feet is today costing at 30,000 to 40,000 rupees a square feet. You cannot earn that kind of money by doing a job or a service. So that real estate asset class is fantastic. Secondly, what basically happens is, among stock market, real estate and gold, the only asset class where your contribution is 10 to 20% is only in the real estate. Balance money comes to you by the bank, from the bank. The best part is the bank is interested only in its interest, whereas the appreciation of that asset is yours. In 20 years, historically, the multiplication of the asset class has gone from 10 times to 40 times.
Sure.
So that kind of money is real big money.
Right.
Now that's one. Secondly, as far as real estate as an asset class is concerned, if you really plan your real estate buying well, and if you buy the real estate on installments, and with every installment, if you equally invest that installment into a mutual fund, in India today, mutual funds per annum is earning between 25 to 70% per annum,
Right.
which is humongous, and that's the fastest growth mutual funds that's happening in the world.
Absolutely.
You will end up paying the real estate loan in a span of 3 to 5 years, and still the asset keeps belonging to you for the rest of your life. So if you can blend your repayment of the installment with an equal amount of investment in mutual funds, it will be fantastic. As far as the real estate developer is concerned, unsold stock of the stock that he makes, if he leverages that with a bank and takes a loan, first and foremost, he doesn't have to pay tax on profit. There is no profit. He's taken a loan.
Right.
So he's saved from the tax payment. That's point number one. Point number two is, because he has taken a facility of finance from the bank,
Right.
the interest component gets set off from his income tax. At the same time, the money that he gets from the unsold stock, if he can invest 50% of that is in the business, and the balance 50% again in the mutual funds, again dramatically the loan will be paid in 3 to 5 years time. The money becomes yours, and it is your way to the bank all the way. So if you can classify asset class of real estate and stock market at current times in India, you can really make a killing. You can take proper advices from chartered accountants who can really structure this well. But if you implement this idea, you will be thankful to the show.
Absolutely. And I think, again, I'll steal that little sentence. I think Vijay Bhai and Vijay, you would appreciate that aaj ke time pe selling is much more based on the portfolio giving to a client. आपका ROI कितना होगा, या आपका say for example आप क्यों invest कर रहे हैं. I'm sure when we are selling, we are also creating some kind of a value proposition for our clients today. So I think that speaks a lot. Coming back to you, Harshal.
So see, real estate essentially meant for the earlier generation residential, because that's where they saw exponential growth. So the first big money that you made, the idea was park it into residential.
Right.
Now with the way, you know, the FSIs are surging, etc., there was a lot of backlash that residential's not giving you that kind of, you know, exponential returns. So suddenly the whole story shifted to equity and stocks. But if you look in today's globalization time, you know, real estate is not just residential. There is whole new two asset classes which we've not spoken about so far, data center.
Right.
I think, with the laws that India's data needs to be on India's soil, and given that 50% of data centers are in MMR and Chennai, primarily due to western and eastern coastal, region proximity,
Right.
the returns over there, you'd be surprised, are in double digits.
Correct.
And these are extremely long term. 25 years minimum is the horizon.
Right.
And all you have to do is just invest well in the infrastructure and the land which is plentifully available. The second big asset class, and to my mind, which will grow exponentially, the next big surge where, all the private equity is flowing, FDI is flowing, is industrial.
Right.
This is backed by regulation, one nation, one tax. GST has sort of ironed out. And if you see all the big developers and the big money, which earlier used to float to residential, started moving to office space,
Right.
is now circling around land, which is getting developed for warehousing.
Right.
And, nowhere, if you see globally, within 15 kilometers range, the rentals can go down to 20% to 30%.
That's
so
right,
if you
agreed.
see the rentals at Thane, which would be say about 80 rupee to 100 rupee a foot, and if you go to Bhiwandi, which is hardly 18 kilometers, and you would see rentals of 20 rupees.
Right.
The kind of edge and the appreciation. I mean, only if you buy a warehouse and just hold on to it for 2 decades,
Right.
the way city is growing, that could turn into a residential plot, and you would make some 1000x returns, which people talk in stocks, merely by holding that piece of land, which today will give you north of 12% returns also.
Right. Again, I'll steal a very quick question to you, Keval. CREDAI MCHI, I think there are a lot of, topics which keeps on coming. On the globalization front, is there anything on the discussion path? Is there any kind of a, I would say, is that some kind of initiations which are happening which can help us? And if yes, then do you think that it should be supported, or how the future looks like?
So Nisha, just on 22nd of August, I had a meeting with the Japan Ministry of Urban Development, Housing and Building. That's what the name is of the ministry. Coming back to the globalization point of yours, is that we are trying to, though it is in a very initial stage right now, but it's already in the media today, so I thought I'll tell you as well, that we are trying to have an MOU with the Japan ministry, along with the Japan Building Center. It's one of the largest housing chamber of Japan, where we are trying to work on 2 parts. One is on the senior level employment. Let's say if his company has got a senior level employee, I would like to send him to Japan for 3 months, work with a developer over there, like a student exchange program we had in our days.
Right.
We are working on an employee exchange program where the employee will work there for 3 months, come back, he will come back with a larger trajectory of experience, right? Similarly, the Japan employee will come here and work at his company as well.
Right.
So that is a kind of cross-border innovation we are trying to work on. We are also trying to tie up with the various Japan developers where they can come in and bring their technology as well. At the same time, we are not the needy one.
Right.
They want to come here and do business.
True.
Right? So they don't know how to do business here. They don't know what is redevelopment. They don't know what is a JDA. They don't know what is a JV. Right? They don't know what is SRA. And that's what the market here is in MMR, right? So they want to do business here. They come to me saying that Sumitomo is here for like 5-6 years now. Apart from buying lands, they are still finding ways to get into the real estate market as such. So that's why, because they are struggling.
Right.
So we are trying on this front on tying up with these kind of countries where we can bring in technology, bring in skills, give in experience of how to do business here in India, because ultimately they will come, as Rajesh said, largest market, right? It's a boon. Population is a boon now.
True.
It's no more a curse. So CREDAI MCHI is a chamber with 1,800 developers in the Mumbai metropolitan region associated with them. All of them have got their demands. We are working on several other projects. In fact, when we say globalization, we are also working with a company in UK उनके पास एक अजब सा टेक्नोलॉजी है, राइट? बट दे डोंट हैव अ मार्केट इन यूके. दे कैन सेंस बेस्ड ऑन the heat mapping of each and every human body. They can tell you, they have a mapping software which will tell you that in your office these many areas are useless when it comes to energy, right?
True.
So we have got smart lighting, we have got IoT, so you can switch off those areas, you can do this, but then here is live.
True.
All right? The moment the conference room becomes empty, you don't have to go on the regulators. It will just switch off or switch on, right? These kind of things, these companies want to come here, right, and do business. So Creda MCHI is working on many fronts where we want to bring in technology, we want to trade skill levels, we want to trade employee experiences, which ultimately will boost the sector.
So
here.
good to know on that. My question to Reza sir and Vijay sir again you is that as I again say that you've kind of seen an era of real estate now. I think there are two things which has happened. I think we have evolved. We've clearly evolved. What is that major change which you've seen then and now in the consumer demand? And this question pertains specifically to the Indian market. And is there a kind of a shift which we can see in the customer perception, customer expectation, because now they've become educated and they've become global. People have started traveling. Say, for example, an Indian is now extensively traveling at places like Dubai, UK, US, and he's kind of seeing those products over there and expecting the same product over here. If I happen to say for you, Reza sir, and again, Vijay sir, from your perspective also, when we are selling, is the kind of sale demand which is coming up is very different now. Is people not only asking you questions that, you know, why I should purchase over here when I can get a Portugal house there and I get a golden visa. So on that perspective, what is the shift in the mind of consumer you see now? And when I say consumer, I think Reza sir, for you, the consumer could be a developer.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So basically when we, initially when I started, the client used to come to us and they were interested in just a plan. And I mean, it was the, back then, you know, the client's, this thing was, he wanted a perspective, he wanted a view so that he could show it to his buyers. And that was what he wanted. And he wouldn't know what he wanted. He wanted a view and he would say, I want a plan. So today, the scenario is different. The clients, the developers are educated. Most of them have been to you know, good schools overseas and they've educated, and so they understand everything. And they want something which is there overseas, like what you said, and they want to implement it here. And even the buyers that come, the buyers themselves are very much educated because they've seen stuff abroad. So many of them have invested abroad. And
That's true.
They are aware of all those products that is there. And they want those kind of products over here. So the market has changed, the scenario is different, the client is educated, and you have to be updated yourself as a designer, as an architect, to give them the best what they want. So that's
I
the
totally
challenge.
agree on you.
Yeah.
Vijay sir, what's your version?
See, I would say that the entire skyline is changing. The future lies on staying close to the new coastal roads. Once all these coastal roads are functional, the locations like Carter Road, Bandstand, Worli Sea Face, and all these locations, all old societies are going, new buildings are coming up. And this is where the future is. I'm sure they all would love to stay there because entire Mumbai will be connected to within the coastal roads. And the stock market is going very well. The buyers want to buy good homes. Luxury homes are selling very easily, which was a doubt when we all were going through COVID testing times. But we have seen that luxury apartments have been creating their own superb market where the deals are taking place even in under construction. So I personally feel that today the demand has changed. The person has understood after COVID that he has to live life once and optimize it and have a big house, a good car, a good office, and have a quality lifestyle, because that's all what matters. So I think the mindset, the perception has changed after all we all have gone through. So we believe that having a luxury home is a basic necessity now. for a person,
That's true. That's true. Absolutely.
So I personally feel that the things are moving to a very better way. The mindset of the consumer has changed drastically.
Right.
And we are just going up and up. I feel very positive about real estate.
That's
I think
absolutely
the
right.
prices, according to me, will still go high, may what come. The land is shrinking. There is no land available. Builders are fighting with each other to take redevelopment
Right.
societies.
That's true. Absolutely.
You know,
That's a
SRA
fact.
projects everywhere. So I personally feel that it's the right time, buy, invest here, and you'll of course make a lot out of it.
Absolutely. And with that, Govind, I want to ask you, it's today when Vijay sir was saying that, these things have come up, the coastal line have come up and all of this, how does a consumer get aware about it? What is the role of influencers today in the mindset of people? And when I'm saying that, I'm not typically saying in terms of only selling. I mean, I'm not talking about sales and marketing. I'm also talking in relation to a product. Say, what is the new product which are coming up? What is the new innovation? And this question is for you, Govind, and to you, Vijay, I think both of you, because you deal a lot with the sentiment of customer. So how do you relate that? And if the time permits, Harshul, I would like to hear from you also. Over to you, Govind.
Sure. So I'll answer it in two parts.
Yeah.
The part number one is the places where we're coming from, like our parents at least, they've lived in villages, big families, joint families. The culture was very simple, that, you rely upon your elders to understand what are the right decisions to make. We have shifted to the whole urban phenomena where we are living in nuclear families, we have friends, but at the same time, we are always continuously looking at some kind of a validation about every decision that we take from somewhere else. Now, that's where the opportunity from the customer sentiment point of view lies for how to capture that opportunity as a sentiment of those customers from developers as well as influencer point of view. Now, on the other side, if you really look at, the framework is very simple. With regards to any developer or any influencer, all they have to really look upon is what is the community that I need to address to, right? I have to build my own community. To answer that community, the next question that has to be addressed is what is the TAM that I'm gonna look at, right? TAM is a total addressable market. So in the crowd, in the hall, I saw Rafiq, I saw Vishal Bhargava as well. There's memes of real estate guys. They're all trying to build a narrative around what audience am I gonna be attracting towards.
I agree.
And there are a set of audiences which are trying to connect with them for the validation that they seek. There are certain people who believe in what Rafiq is doing, and they believe that he's going to be the right guy for me. And then there are certain people who are going to believe that, okay, Vishal is not going to be giving anything wrong as a solution to us. And that is where we have to really look at it, that is the strong sense of validation around our decisions is where the customers are coming from. And that is opportunity from the developer point of view as well, that, if that is the TAM as an opportunity, what is it that I'm projecting? I saw multiple ads in the background right now from the developer side.
That's true.
So the idea is very simple. Are we continuously talking about the same old words, trust, transparency, quality? I believe it's done. We all have to deliver. We are expecting from all the developers the same thing, right? When he's building as well, the idea is simple, that, whatever that he's building, he has got some insights.
Absolutely.
Is that insight having a right amount of TAM to the audience? Can we take something that nobody has ever spoken and can we amplify it? Can we get our audience to connect with something that has never been heard, but then people get curious to those queries? And then these influencers come in where they bring that narrative out. And then the second layer is to make sure that they're validating it as well. So that's the role, that's the opportunity. And now with the global phenomena, we were talking about it, till what time is going to happen. I believe it's only going to get bigger and bigger. It is not just influencer, it is not just developers community, it is each and every business guy putting their face out, building their personal brand, building their own community, whom they can mobilize whenever they want to and leverage their word of mouth for their success. So it's just going to go up, up and up. And the influencing part, I believe, is just a phenomena of the validation we always have been seeking. It's just have a new face now.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Govind. Vijay, I'll just steal 2 seconds from you. Since you spoke a lot about product, Reza sir, I'll just come back to it for one little question. Why is that reason that the influencer marketing has come into sales and marketing and we all are trying level best? I think all the influencer, Govind, you'll agree, are predominantly portraying the product, location, all of it. Why isn't the influencer marketing never so far came into something like an architecturing firm or some other industry line. Do you think that this is the hour of the need, need of the hour, that we have that from you, and we also have influencers now coming into this field and educating people that what the creation is and how things have been?
So things have changed, social media has become very important. I mean, today when you get up, first thing you look at is, in the morning you open your phone and you don't look at the next person who's sleeping next to you, but you look at the phone first. So that's the way of life, and it's going to be continuing that way. I mean, even Vicky sitting over here, he can't leave his phone. So you can imagine what's going to happen next.
I agree with you, I agree. Vijay, over to you. Oh, I think very well said. I think Keval said it all. I think, Keval, I'll just give you that mic and you should say that upfront. Don't worry, you have it.
No, I said, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I said when it comes to architecture, built environment, urban design, you don't need social influencer. Reza himself is a brand. Hafiz himself is a brand. When you say Reza design building, the marketing cost goes down to 20% because it is Reza's name which is working, right? So you don't need influencers. True. You need architects like Hafiz, Reza to help us in marketing, isn't it, Vishal?
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'll just add one thing. The architect, the whole fraternity is restricted by a certain guidelines. If those guidelines were not there, trust me, the brands that can be built around them, it's going to be other level. The limitation is they can't market themselves beyond a certain point and associate with projects, certain way. Else, trust me, in the new ways, the kind of knowledge they are sitting with, I believe sometimes it goes much more deeper than what developers have themselves thought about in terms of the product design.
Yeah.
But yes, we are marked by the guidelines and we have to limit ourselves. Else, we would have loved to take him and turn him into something different kind of a phenomena.
I think both of them should do one thing. That
Thank you, appreciate it.
I think in their own field, they've become like an example. So I think what is required is the guidance to the young generation. I think more than influencer marketing, I think what is required is to become the face for the next generation. I think from a social perspective and social cause, I think you need to become an influencer now. All right, over to you, Vijay.
I think I'll complete this point very quickly, actually. If you see that we are the most, post 2015, we are the most marketed country in the world. When it comes to the government perspective, when it comes to the central government, whether it's Mr. Modi's PR-ship, the foreign, the dialects, as far as the far-reaching impact we are making abroad as far as the country is concerned. Now, I'll tell you a funny story, right? You go to Dubai, you go to New York, you go to Paris, you'll find social media influencers who are marketing the city, right? You have the mayor who's actually of New York, who's actually sitting with 10, 20 influencers where, they're coming up with things that, where is the best sunset happening? Which is the new road which is going to open up? Where is, how safe is it for women? And because social media plays an important role like this. And I think as a city, right, Mumbai, and as a country, we need the government not only centrally, but locally very involved, that what is new happening in Mumbai. Why only a property dealer or a consultant or a real estate social media influencer has to go out that the coastal road is opening up?
True, that
Why do we have to say that this road is safe, for women to travel, or this city is safe for, things to happen? And why are we not talking about the new ferry? Why are we not talking about the connectivity, which is, the metro connectivity, which is happening? So, if you don't sell the city, you'll never be able to sell real estate.
True.
If you see Dubai, if you see the best cities in the world, they are able to sell themselves to people outside. And believe it or not, we are 130 million of them. We are going to exhaust.
Right.
Right? We need new markets. We need to tap into new territories. We need the influx of fresh investors and buyers coming into different forms, not only real estate but businesses. How many Mumbaikars are keep going to buy each other out,
absolutely.
right? So I think social media does play a very important role as far as getting new people, new fresh footfall in the city or in the country is concerned. Yeah.
Harshula, very, very quick one from you on this influencer marketing.
So see, what is basically influencer marketing is Howard meeting Hollywood. So it is basically edutainment. So it's a mix of education and entertainment in today's time where attention span is merely 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I mean, you will flip the reel. It's just a flick of your, finger, and you would change the content, and which is where it plays a key role. And, no matter you have regulations like RERA, you have all of that coming in, but what really influencers do is educate you in the best possible medium in the shortest possible time. And I think it's the era of influencers we are living in.
I completely agree with you. Again, drifting a little from the subject on the influencer marketing, I think let me just talk a little on the FDI, foreign direct investments, which are coming in. I think, Dr. Bhavish, I would want to know from you, subsequently, Rajesh from you and Keval from you also. What is the role of FDI playing and into the development of the Indian, and in what ways? I mean, is it only a one-way traffic, which is only the funds which are migrating, and what are the government regulations? Are they really helping the Indian real estate?
As a matter of frankly speaking, FDI rules in India are very stringent. They are not available, funds are not available for the Tier 2, Tier 3 developers. It's only available to the A grade. And there are a lot of norms which a person has to go through. And I think, and the FDIs are not cheap either. They're eating away into the, profits of the developer. And most of the FDIs are in commercial pre-leased in India. In residential, whatever they are, they're not making a lot of money, so they're not interested to go down from the A grade to the B grade. So Indian government needs to relax a lot of things for real estate and consider this as an industry, give us an industry status. We are it's a common thing everybody knows, second largest employment generator. So FDI right now, I don't think is helping the whole real estate fraternity, except for the top brass.
I think very rightly said. Rajesh, what's your version on this?
So, FDI, foreign direct investment, is the correct tool to measure globalization in the true sense.
Right.
And Indian economy is a closed economy. It's still not yet opened up. It's not like Dubai or London or Singapore or Sydney or New York, where any citizen of any country can just transfer money and buy real estate. In India, it is restricted in the interest of the large population that the country has. Because if India opens it up at this point of time, the local population will not be able to afford real estate. That's the reason it is locked. The FDI is a very good way purely because FDI looks at India as a very large customer base market where their investment can earn really good returns on the investments that they do. Investments in the country are today not in the format of retail investments, but it is in the form of project-wise investments with a lot of parameters. There are a lot of restrictions also on the FDI. So India is a pretty strict country as far as norms of how profits can be repatriated to the FDI owning countries, in the mean that from the country from where the FDI comes in, to repatriate the profits also, there are rules and regulations in place which need to be respected and honored. So it is a very interesting market for FDI. Every FDI wants to have a pie of the Indian cake, but there is still some time to go. And like my colleague rightly said, FDI is available only to the people who have proved their past historical data to be correct, ethical, logical, with proper corporate governance. They are getting the FDI on very pretty terms, very interesting terms, and we are going to see a lot of inflow of FDI in the next 10 to 15, 20 years. It is going to be parallel in format of the infrastructure development that the country is going to foresee. One last parting shot is infrastructure development in this country in the next 5 years. The Indian government is going to be investing 100 lakh crores into infrastructure development, which is going to make it very easy for good real estate to start happening.
Sure.
FDI in this country began with infrastructure purposes and today has moved to housing and commercial and lifestyle real estate like malls. So I think very interesting times ahead as far as FDI is concerned.
Superb. Thank you so much. A quick one from you, Keval. Very, very quick one.
Simran.
Yeah, you have already...
I saw Simran.
Yeah. She's just standing behind. I know that.
Just 3 points.
Yeah.
I humbly differ from what he
That's
said.
what I was waiting for.
I
A very
am
nice
sorry.
debate. But
Yeah.
all of these gentlemen never fought.
Guys, paisa free नहीं आता है, right? No lunch is free. If FDI is not available to A, B, C, there is a reason. अगर मेरा सिबिल स्कोर खराब है तो मुझे बैंक भी लोन नहीं देता है, correct? So when it comes to FDI, you have to match the class.
Yeah.
Otherwise, money is not available. Is as simple as that. I'm sorry. Point number one. Point number two. We have FEMA. We have got a very complex tax structure. Under construction building ko GST itna, right? So we have got a complex tax structure which is hard for a person who is not from the Indian economical background or from an Indian behavioral pattern background to understand the structure. So it takes time. It's changing. Rajesh rightly said it's changing and it is increasing. 30% increase in last 2 years. Amazing. So FDI is coming in to the right people, to the right project. Infrastructure, yes, it started. We are talking about housing for all. Then we are talking about FDI coming in. नहीं होगा ना, सब नहीं होगा साथ में.
That's true.
So we have to compartmentalize ourselves. We have to make ourselves eligible for that FDI. I have got Abu Dhabi Abu Dhabi Development Infrastructure Fund saying that मेरे पास 2,000 करोड़ रुपया है. I am ready to give, but you have to spend it in 1 year. Give me one developer from B grade and C grade who will spend 2,000 crores in 1 year. नहीं होगा ना, तो नहीं मिलेगा. So you have to be eligible to get that money. Money is available. Money is available in abundance.
Yeah, true.
Make
That
yourself
is-
eligible for that.
That's true. Thank you so much. I know, Simran, you are there somewhere. Please hold on. Yeah. Just one last question. I would require half a minute for that. Half a minute, very quickly. All of us are entrepreneur in some sense or the other. A very quick one, starting from Vijay. And you have already seen the warning of Simran. So it's really a quick one. Okay, it's gone. It's gone. Just the last one. This is going to be interesting. Okay. If given a chance as an entrepreneur, you would want to become global when you know there is enough of demand in India and there is enough of infrastructure, or I would say resources available in India. Do you as an entrepreneur would still want to expand your base to a global market? Over to you.
I'm sorry, I'll be very ruthless here. The world is trying to set up shop in India. Why should I try? At least let's focus and concentrate and, get all the energies. At least we have a first mover's advantage. I might as well stay local and, get the maximum benefit out of it. That's as simple as that.
I think if I just analyze the trend, earlier people wanted to go multi-states. Then today's time, everyone wants to look at and master a micro market. So you have Cat A developers of micro markets who are small, but only focusing on 2 or 3, locations. So I think that is the right way forward. The cake is big enough for everyone to have a bite in.
I'll skip. The lady of the house has messaged me once again. Thank you.
I think the developing micro markets of the metropolis and tier 2 cities, I think that's an opportunity I don't think people can do in this lifetime. So India is the biggest opportunity.
So India is a world in a country. There is so much to be done here that you need to really leverage globalization to the best by bringing in the best technology, by bringing in the best designs, by bringing in the best materials, and develop India as one of the best countries in the world. So world in a country is India, and that's good enough to travel the rest of your life.
Thank you.
So for me, I guess in our life, we are just chasing, we're not chasing peace and happiness only. I believe the only thing that we're chasing is validation. So why limit ourselves with just one country? So we will love
Super.
I think
You're already global.
I think you should have a mixed bag because you learn from overseas and you implement it here, and from here you implement it overseas. So you should have a mixed bag and you should know how to balance it.
Wow, that's a good one.
I would say east or west, India is the
India is
best.
the best. I knew you would say that. Lovely. Thank you so much. It was such an interesting panel, and thank you all for such an engaging conversation. Look forward for more sessions with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This was absolutely a miracle towards the big name. Can we please have a photo session with all
And
of
guys,
you?
one thing, Nidhi, you did amazingly well. This was not an easy task to pull off, but kudos
Ask
to you.
me the stress.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, may I please kindly request you to step forward? Ladies and gentlemen, they deserve truly a huge road. Nidhi, hold on, darling. They truly deserve a huge round of applause, everybody. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Our distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, have shared with us the insights, and the only thing that we could look forward is to a brighter future for all of us in the world of real estate and business entrepreneurs. So thank you to each and every one of you, and sincere apologies for that very quick change. Actually, that's the reason we call it live. कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है, तो माफी चाहूंगी हाथ जोड़कर आप सबसे. But thank you so much. This was phenomenal. Thank you once again.